He needs to find that medium ground. His ceiling can still be high, but his floor needs not to be so low. Maybe Russ can help him bring him back that up. But yes, John is correct. George Pickens is a top 10 receiver in the NFL with either quarterback, with Russ or Justin Fields. I agree. However, Steelers going to run the ball a lot. John also says Tomlin blew up the quarterback room to get Big Russ. He's rolling with home to a point of insanity, just like he did with Matt Canada. So Mike Tomlin blew up that quarterback room because he knew Mason Rudolph wasn't him. He knew that Kenny Pickett really wasn't cutting it. Mitchell Trubisky, call it what you call it, I think he got the short end of the stick by going to Chicago and them not signing him to a fifth year and letting him prove it, right? Put some weapons around him. But you have to understand, John, Pittsburgh Steelers picked up Russell Wilson off of the street. I believe 20 other teams passed on him. Finally came to the Pittsburgh Steelers, like, yeah, we'll take a flyer on him. They didn't trade for him. They're not paying him the same amount of money. They're paying him $1 million. Tomlin, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are not married to either quarterback, but they're married even less to Russell Wilson. At least with Justin Fields, they're paying him a little bit more. I believe it's $5 million or $6 million this season. They gave away a 7th round draft pick for him. So they're a little bit more invested in Justin Fields. So to say that he is going to roll with him to the point of insanity, just like he did with Matt Canada, I think that is completely false. I think we are seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers turn over a new leaf this offseason. I think we're seeing Mike Tomlin do something different. Mike Tomlin has been the staple of an average coach, right? Never a losing season in Pittsburgh. What they've done is they've always built through the draft and built within, right? We're going to draft this guy, mold him into what he wants and see where he is. This is the first offseason that I can remember where the Pittsburgh Steelers were active in the free agency realm. Picking up Patrick Queen, a big name guy, right? Getting Justin Fields. This is the first time they're picking and choosing who they want to bring to their team. I think Mike Tomlin saw the writing on the wall last season, and if he does not have a playoff win this season, he could see himself out the door. All you Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you should know it. How long has it been since the Steelers have won a playoff game? Since what, like 2012 or something? Over 10 years? Yeah, you guys make it. Yeah, you're winning a winning team year after year, right? What happened? But just getting there is not good enough anymore. Just being a playoff team is not good enough anymore. It is time to put some more hardware in that trophy. It is time to go for number 7. It is time to get yourself a franchise quarterback. Mike Tomlin is a hell of a coach. Top 3 coach of all time, top 5 coach of all time. I'm just pulling numbers out of my head, but he's a top coach. Never had a losing season. We get it. But it's time to win some games, and I think Justin Fields does that best for you. Preston Stafford's in the chat. He says, who? Who is the new starter? Justin Fields is the new starter, baby. Justin Fields, baby. Casey says, personally, I think the Steelers were desperate for a QB, and that's why they took Wilson. Especially since the Bears took a while to decide on Fields. So, Casey, I agree with you to an extent. Why I agree with you to an extent is, yes, they were desperate to get a quarterback into the facility, right? Because I believe at that point in time, they had no quarterbacks on the roster. Kenny Pickett had already been traded. Actually, no, Kenny Pickett was still on the roster because they traded Kenny Pickett the day they got Justin Fields. So Mitchell Trubisky may have still been on the roster too. Mason Rudolph was already gone. But to say they were desperate for a QB, I don't think so. I think they were desperate to get some type of veteran leadership into that quarterback room, right? Kenny Pickett has kind of been a trial by fire, was bench/hurt toward the end of the season. Mitchell Trubisky, he'll be a good backup. He'll be a good Chase Daniels. He'll probably win 3 or 4 Super Bowl rings as being backups, whether it's for the Chiefs, for the Bills, or whoever, right? I feel that Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers were looking for that veteran leadership to bring into that quarterback room. Not to necessarily be a starter, not to necessarily, use it as trade bait or do this, or this, but to mentor Kenny Pickett. And then when Kenny Pickett got his feelings hurt when they brought Russell in, they're like, you don't want to compete for a job? See you later. Shipped him off to Seattle, right? Insert Justin Fields. I think that's the only reason why Kenny Pickett did get shit out of town was because he was butthurt